Welcome to A Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guest today is on a mission to provide the best tasting lemonade to quench your thirst with the classic lemonades. From everything from a classic lemonade to an exotic fruit blends, they will transport you to a whole nother level. Please welcome the owner of Up Lemonade, Lukasz Grabowski. What's going on, Lukasz?
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I love the Orlando City Pride. I know you're a big soccer fan, and a big Orlando City Pride fan. So I love seeing that. I appreciate you coming on the show. My first question always is, what's your favorite and what's your go-to lunch or sandwich?
As far as sandwich, I actually like an open face sandwich.
Okay.
I used to eat those a lot growing up. It could be anything, ham, whatnot, a meatball or a Philly with marinara. Outside of a sandwich, go to lunch. There's a spot in Davenport, Bamboo Walk. It's like a New York style, authentically not authentic Chinese food.
Okay.
And it's been going there like 20 years.
Wow. Okay. I have to ask the open face questions because when you say open face, does that mean you're not technically picking it up and eating it? You're actually eating it with a fork and knife, and you're using the bread. You're using the bread to hold the sauce or gravy and all that stuff.
No, so it's actually like you would take a piece of bread, cut it in half. Then we did butter, not mayo, but like piece of ham, tomato, and then repeat on the either side. And it's literally just two half sandwiches, not like built all the way up.
Open face.
Yeah.
Kind of like an open, like if you did like an avocado
toast.
Post
Yeah.
or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, that was
no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I do the same thing. So it's funny. So like I don't consider that obviously like a sandwich, but that's just in my world because I call those trenchers. However, I do eat them.
Heard that.
I do eat that because that's how I have like my tuna, my chicken salad. Like I never eat it like actually like bread on top of bread with I always eat it open face and I pick it up almost like a bruschetta type thing, like style.
Yeah, exactly.
Is how I usually eat it. So that's why I'm always kind of curious. Like, but yeah, it used to be called trenchers, and that's the reason why I asked you if you ate it with a fork and all that stuff, because the idea of it was the bread would be like a place to absorb the gravy and all that other stuff. So that at the end of the day, you're eating it with a fork and knife and they would absorb all those things so that you can kind of eat it and have like extra the gravy and all those things. That's what it was. That's why it was called a trencher back in the day.
Interesting.
Nerdy sandwich nerd stuff that I absolutely adore. Okay, so I've been a fan of you guys. I love your energy. I love the fact that you guys always have a massive line with what you're doing. And Level Up Lemonade is it's kind of like especially in Florida, is a popular thing where I love seeing people walk around. Like it's one of my favorite things when it comes to branding or just seeing in general. Like, because obviously when you're a vendor, you're seeing people walk back and forth. So you can see people like my friend Doug Felinius Cats, like he has the hot pink cat bag, but you guys obviously have and I'll have you explain what it is, but like basically it's a 32 ounce like amazingly tasting lemonade, but everyone's walking around, especially in Florida, about it. So I know for the last 2 years you and your wife Alicia have been running Level Up Lemonade, so I want you to tell people a little bit about it, like, and then kind of give me the origin story of like how all that kind of came about.
So Level Up Lemonade is a video game themed, we're a mobile lemonade pop-up shop. So we do events all throughout Central Florida. And then we have a main menu that we carry. We do a rotating flavor, which every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the time, we'll move through. And then, I mean, we've seen you throughout Milk Mart. We do the Goblin Market. During the week, we do apartment complexes, HOAs, things like that. So we do about 25, 28 events a month. So we're posted up somewhere just about every day. But the whole thing started, so I've been bartending almost 15 years. And at work, I worked for Disney, so I didn't drink at work. So I'd make a lot of mocktails, but they have a lot of like different syrups and flavors and whatnot available. So I'd always make basically, I guess now they call them mocktails. And some of the flavors that I would come up with were just really good. And then actually, I think it was October 2022. We were actually running a Goat's Kitchen, Eat More, Work Less for a couple of years, and that wasn't doing very well. We needed a lot more orders for the kitchen we were running out to be able to like supplement, because it costs X amount. So if you're doing 2 orders of soup, but you're there for 6 hours. It's just not cost effective. So we ran that for about 3 years. We stopped doing that, and then I was kind of trying to figure out what to do while working, and then just one day I kind of thought of I was actually sleeping, and I just the name Level Up Lemonade kind of came to me, and I kind of woke up and came from my bedroom into my living room, kind of jotted down just a couple little ideas. Next day, woke up, went down to Restaurant Depot because we had the card to go there from Eat More Work
Yeah.
Less Still. So
Yeah.
I picked up some syrup, some flavorings, lemons, and just started kind of concocting some ideas that day. And then actually the next day, I spoke to my wife. She was like, "All right, I mean, it's lemonade. You know, what I mean, just doesn't
Yeah.
seem really
Yeah.
like it seems kind of weird." So I kind of ran that by her. The next day, we went to my friend Jeff and Kelly. Actually, they're people that actually helped us come up with. They do the design, the logos. They do a lot with us. They've been incredible throughout this process. But we went over to them and we pulled up. And then when it was crazy because I opened the door, or my buddy opens the door, and he's like, "Hey, I know you've been trying to think of something to do after Eat More Work Less. I have an idea for you." He had seen some videos on TikTok of some people that had converted like a horse trailer into a lemonade, like a mobile lemonade stand. So he's going off on how I should like maybe try lemonade. And I literally had a cooler full of like lemonades and lemons and all this that I was gonna ask them to. Yeah, it was wild. Like same day, I was like, I have an idea, and he's like, dude, I've got an idea for you. And I was like,
You're
so
like,
from
it's
that
meant to
moment,
be.
yeah. So we just went in all in. Once the name came up, Level Up Lemonade is just gamer themed. The rest was easy. I mean, if you've seen our stand, like most of the stuff out there is from my house, like the lamps and the Superstar, the Triforce. It's all just stuff we already owned. So we just brought that out, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, man. It's seriously, it is great. It is great to see, and it makes sense. Like the whole idea, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you about was the idea of you being a mixologist for so long, like how you come up with the flavors and all that stuff. And so I am kind of curious because, like, I want to talk a little bit about some of the flavors, because I know you do everything's handcrafted lemonades, you different unique combinations. I love the fact that like just like any video game, it'll help power you up, take you to the next level. I know some of the most popular ones: Super Smash
Yeah.
Berries, Pixel Punch, Hero Dose. My favorite is the Fireproof Elixir when that one's available. I love that one. It's just so good. So I was kind of curious how many lemonade, and then I guess what do you call them? Do you call them recipes, lemonade potions? What would you call them? Like
We
when you what would you call them? Like your recipes, you have like in a gamer term, what would you call it? Your recipes for
I guess I'm slacking at that part. We just call them flavors. So I
okay.
should
No,
that's
no, no.
actually that's pretty good. The one thing with that, so our rotating menu, I call it our LTM, which is the
Okay.
limited time menu.
Yeah.
Like in Fortnite, they have LTM, like limited time like
Yeah.
modes,
Yeah.
LTM. So that was kind of from that. But I do need to. That's actually a good idea. So
Yeah, yeah, write that down. Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
take
I
that
was thinking,
down.
because I was thinking of like potions, because like I saw some of the stuff that you have, like some of the things that I saw with even with Goblin Market, and I was like, dude, these are like, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, during my research, I was like, does he call them potions? What does he call them?
So
But I was kind of,
we call them lemonades. I mean,
yeah,
theoretically,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're potions, they're elixirs, but
Correct.
because they vary, like the Super Smash Berries isn't technically like it's themed more
Yeah.
towards a certain
Correct.
game, not towards a certain type of
Correct.
like liquid or whatever. So we haven't really hit that. And generally, though, we do call them flavors. But a lot of them are potion. Like in the names, there'll be potions, there'll be elixirs. We have a couple that are serums. We have one that's a nectar, dragon scale nectar. That's one of the limited time ones. So
So with that said, how many you probably have like a recipe book or whatnot. Like how many recipe flavors do you have? Like kind of compiled, because I know usually I think it's about typically about 6 flavors
yeah.
is what you
So
usually have when you do an event. But I was kind of
yeah,
curious, like how many do you have? Like, do you have like a book full of them, like of different recipes?
not that crazy. I mean, it's small,
Okay.
like a pamphlet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the main menu is going to be we do six. So it's the green potion, the smash berries, the pixel punch, the fireproof elixir, which is your favorite, the hero's dose, and the 8-bit brew. Then we don't have it on menu, but we get asked for a traditional lemonade constantly, so we call that a retro lemonade.
Okay.
So
I
that
like
is
that.
our as far as because we number them down, so that's our 00. Then we have our 1 through 6, and then starting the first year, we did an event with Frankie Risman. I don't know if you've ever spoken to him. He does a lot of stuff. He's like a little foodie from Orlando, but so he invited us out to an event, and he wanted like a new flavor out for. He did something with OHA, Orlando Hospitality Alliance. So we did a little thing that was like August of 2023. That was like a month into it. So we ended up coming up with a new flavor. So we numbered that number 7. From then though, we've gone all the way through 12, and then we skipped 13, and then we've done 14, 15, 16, and then we're working on 17. So I guess we've got 18 total, or 17 total, because I skipped 13. Eventually I'm gonna do like a Halloween flavor and bring it back and make it a 13. So
Yeah, I
but we
like it.
have
I like
16 or 17 total right now.
the beauty of the 13 is you should make the 13 whatever you want it to be. So like, because you have like, if you ever do like a Taylor Swift thing, their 13's your favorite number, so you can do like a
Yes.
Taylor Swift one, or you could do a 13 based on the Friday, all that stuff like that. I was kind of curious because you're constantly like, how exhausted are you by the time you're done? Because I see you like, and if you watch the videos and you're on the Level Up Lemonade instant, like the reels and stuff like that, like you're squeezing, you're like, you guys are cutting lemons, you're squeezing, you're then shaking the heck out of it. How many lemons do you probably go through during a course of like a big event, like let's say a Goblin Market or a Milk Mart? Like how many lemons are you, like how do you even prepare for something like that? But how many lemons are you bringing to an event?
So those are like our big events. Those we do more there than we do anywhere else. So we have the van now. We originally started doing it with 2 Honda Civics. So we would pull up the first Goblin Market we pulled up with my '02 Honda Civic and my wife's 2017 Honda Civic. So they fit, one cooler in the back each, and we had lemons in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. I'm driving with my elbow like this because I've got, like literally. Once we got the van though, we were able to kind of do it larger scale. When we do the Goblin Market, we do anywhere from somewhere probably around, we do about 400. Say we do a little less for Milk Mart, but we do about 400. So, but for that we bring out a second tent. We have like 5 coolers. It's like a pretty
It's a whole
massive.
thing. Yeah,
As far as making them though, I mean, I do get tired. Like my forearms like burn afterwards.
I was
Definitely.
gonna say.
My wife is a beast because the coolers are 100 pounds a piece, so we're dragging 5, 6 of them out of the van down the road. Like, so I don't. You should ask her how she feels.
Yeah,
She's got
like
to be beat.
a lot of ibuprofen at the end of the day.
It's
What's your favorite? So, do you have a favorite flavor? Like, what's like your go-to flavor for yourself? Like when you
My
have one.
personal favorite is the green potion. I kind of made that one for me. It's more kiwi dominant, but over the couple of years, we've made so many that I don't necessarily know that's true anymore. We do the dragon scale nectar, which is passion fruit, dragon fruit, lime, which is incredible. We do a slurp juice, which is blue raspberry, lemon lime, which has also been amazing. One of them is a dark mana potion, which is black cherry, blackberry, blueberry, which I really liked. So it's, I want to say like, because it's a consistent one. When someone asks me, that is the green potion, but there's been some other ones that are definite bangers.
Yeah, no, man, I love that. Now I know besides obviously, and if you're watching the video, you'll see a lot of board games. I know you're a huge, obviously huge gamer, obviously because of the name of the brand and the theming of the brand, but of the lemonade stand and everything. But you're also a huge board game collector.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to get an idea of like favorite video game, favorite board game, or do you got? And if you don't have like a favorite, but you have a few, like if you want to like name drop some of your favorite board games and favorite video games that you like to play that are like, oh, your go-tos or your classic favorites, I'd love to know those.
So as far as video games, I guess I'm biased towards Nintendo. If you see the stand, it's a lot of Nintendo S things. Growing up though, I did have an Xbox 360, Xbox One. Never owned a PlayStation. Originally, growing up, I had the NES. My dad brought home from work. His like one of his workers at the restaurant he worked at was getting rid of it, so he gave it to me. I was like, I think 5 or 6. I got Zelda, and I don't know if you've ever played the game Gyromite. You literally, it's just character moving, and you push A or B to move levels down. And so that game I probably spent like 1,000 hours playing. Like that's all I had. So I fell in love with that. So then once I got a hold of anything else, that was it. So I was always like diehard Nintendo. My cousin Christian had a Sega Genesis, so I went to his house to play Sonic. I had another cousin with the SNES, so F Zero, Secret of Mana would be over there. So it wasn't like today where you're collecting every console. So I kind of stayed with Nintendo mostly. But so as far as that though, I used to love playing Harvest Moon. A big fan of Zelda and Mario, obviously. More recently, some of the new games that come out like Splatoon is like a Nintendo themed shooter. But I used to do Halo 1, 2, 3 for hours online, that whole thing. Big fan of Mario Kart, but
And then what about board games? Because you have a ton of them. So like,
board
what do
games,
you?
yeah. I was gonna say, so personal, a couple of favorites. I'm not necessarily. I don't know if you ever have you played any board games much?
I play some board games, not as definitely. I don't. I probably won't know as many of them. I mean, I know the classics, but nothing of the new games and stuff like that. So that's why I was kind of curious.
It's interesting how big it is. So in 2015, 2016, we played a couple of like modern board games and really fell in love with them because it just became more than like, the classic Monopoly, roll the dice. It's a lot of chance. And now they have like a lot of, I guess, mechanics where you really mitigate and can work strategy into the gaming. But a couple of favorites. I have a game called Docmas, which is really good. Let's Go to Japan's actually a pretty popular game that's been getting big. I like games like Ticket to Ride. I'm not a big fan of Catan, which is super popular, just because I suck. It's a lot of negotiating and like strategy in that aspect, which I sit there and I'm just like, I hope I get the card I need. I hope I get the roll I need. So, but there's a lot of games. Pandasaurus is a really good board game publisher. They've had a ton of releases recently that are really good. I'm like, my eyes are going around the room to see if
No, I was gonna say because you have so many of them.
so yeah, it's bad. When Kickstarter, so during the pandemic, Kickstarter like became big,
Yeah.
and so I kind of started messing around. Like once I broke the idea, because it's cardboard in a box, so like you go to board games, you go to a Target and you're like $30, that's too much. But with Kickstarter, they do like the metal pieces and the acrylics, and then so once it broke like that $50-$70 range, I started like really going into some crazy games. But Sagrada's a really good one. It's a dice rolling game.
Have you ever thought of creating your own board game?
We tried that actually when we were doing Eat More Work Less. We did like a food based game. We have I have some photos, but we have a whole like I have it somewhere tucked under my bed. But it's a whole card game. Like we researched like the amount of cards you should do and like this. Probably spent 2-3 months. My wife designed everything, drew it all up. We were playing it, we were testing it, and it wasn't fun. It sucked. So we were like, oh yeah, that's no. I'm like, I would never pay money to like if I bought this, I'd be
Yeah.
furious. So
She's like, if I'm not enjoying it, then no one's gonna be able to
I'm
enjoy it
like,
either.
I should be like, this is so fun. I made this, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. So instantly shelved it, and
All
then
right.
then
Do
we did
you?
lemonade.
What about What about out of curiosity? Like, so I know there's board games, but do you also do like card games, like
Yeah,
collector cards and stuff like that as well, and like a Pokemon's and stuff like that? I think you like some of that stuff too,
yeah.
right?
So we do as far as I do card games like board game card games like Uno or like more drastic ones. But then I also like growing up I was big into Pokemon trading card games, the TCG. Today I'm a little back into it, but it's been difficult with scalping's become a big issue with the hobby. I don't know if you've seen the videos online, but there's like people in like Costco, like literally fist fighting and elbowing each other, ripping the boxes apart. People are buying them, opening the packs, pulling out the valuable cards, putting new ones in, resealing them, returning them. It's been like it's a crazy, it's gotten
Yeah, it's gotten ugly.
rough. So we've done a little bit more recently, but I've always been a collector. I lost my entire original collection, but I've recently started a new one. So
Okay.
I'm rebuilding.
So the reason I was asking about cards is for a few reasons. One is, and I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I saw it, and this is what triggered me. This is the reason why when I saw like an image on Goblin Market, and I asked about the potion, and if you call them potions or what do you call them? But have you done or thought of doing, especially as you continue growing this, and if you haven't, I'm pretty sure you have, but I'm just going to ask the question because my brain works this way. Have you and your friends who do like help you do like the came up with some of the design work, have you done thought about making like a card for every single like all 17 or 18 of your drinks where it has like a power level and it has certain things like that? Like I don't know why, but I think in your world like that is like that just
Yeah,
makes sense to have, or at least to start thinking of
to do like
creating
a little mini pack or something.
yeah, mini pack, or even if it's not even a mini pack, but it's like an individual card, and you can get that individual card, and then that, or like do something like that, so that way it's like a an add-on, like a collector card for the your lemonade, but then at the
I
same time you can collect them, and then maybe
Yeah.
some game can evolve from it. I don't know why, but that's like, I saw the image, and when I saw the image I was like, I wonder if these are real, like if he's actually making these, because if not, I'm like, this would totally make, would like, it just falls into place and making sense.
So you're talking about like so for my rotating the LTMs, we have like the little things with the little so that's something with that idea that I was doing, but we have nothing physical. That was just me kind of like when you acquire like literally when you acquire an item in the game, you get the black text box, boom, describes it. So I always do like a little fun story.
Correct.
And then I've done different potions. So that was kind of like digitally the idea. I've never thought about doing it physically. Yesterday we did an event over at Flamingo's Crossing though, and funny, someone mentioned it to me that I should do trading cards because they saw that we play Pokemon TCG Pocket. We have like a stand with all of our gamer codes, and now again, so I guess it's a sign.
I'm telling you, dude, I just give me, and I'm telling you, like that, like as soon as I saw that, and it's funny because like, and I was like, I'm like, it's already there. I'm like, all they have to do is come up with something like what they're going to be on the back, because the front's already there on some of this. I was like,
Yeah,
this is like, and then they could, that's extra money because people would buy it. Like you could either like, oh, do you want like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And like, and I knew you were into cards. That was the other reason why I brought it up, because you got to meet someone that I'm a huge fan of as well. And I'm not gonna lie, Lucas. I love hearing how certain things like align for you, or have aligned in certain ways. Like the fact that you and your friend both kind of came up with the idea of like the lemonade idea. Like just now, you and I kind of talking about like, oh
yeah,
look,
that's
this is like
crazy.
kind of lined up, because like I was really drawn to the fact that you had a chance to meet Gary V
Yeah,
at
oh man,
Collector Con in Orlando the day
that was
after.
wild.
And I read on your Instagram, the day after you quit your job. So
Yeah.
like, can you tell me a little bit about that experience, and about a little bit about that, and then just kind of, because it just kind of, I when I saw that I was like, man, I'm like, that's like, if that's not a shot in the arm of like, hey, this is what it's meant to be, or what I'm doing the right thing type of thing. I don't know what is. So that's why I was kind of curious about that.
So again, the buddies actually it's at Bananakin and Hugh Views. The ones that helped me out with all my stuff. They were again 2015, always telling me about checking out Gary Vee because they were always pushing me to kind of. I had been bartending now for like 6 years at T Rex Cafe, so they were always like and they helped me with my food thing and getting that going, the YouTube channel with all that. So they were always telling me to watch Gary Vee. So I started watching them, and then it's been 10 years now. So and he's always he's very, like you said, very positive, very inspirational. So for the last year though, I've only worked 3 shifts so I quit T Rex in 2023, about a year into Level Up, because I was working full time in 3 days. So I was doing about 40 hours Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was doing two 17-hour shifts and then a morning shift, which was hitting my 40. But then I was, done for the rest of the week as far as trying to get, I was doing that, working at Coronado Springs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then trying to do the lemonade on whatever days off. So as far as juggling that, I ended up leaving T Rex and doing Disney and Level Up Lemonade. And so the last year, I had only, like I said, worked 3 shifts at Disney, and I'd actually gotten a write up for calling out because it became a point where if I had a shift scheduled, I was able to give most of them away, but I couldn't always give them away. So if I couldn't give a shift away, I had to call out because I had to go. I couldn't call out a Level
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
So at that point, it started kind of tipping. So I would so I had missed 12 shifts within a year. So I had to come in to get a write up, sign like a little agreement, whatever. So I went in and I quit because I didn't want to get, I don't know what the future holds. And Disney has 80,000 positions. You could have a job in New York and work for Disney. So I quit on the good terms. That was June 10th, I think. And I think June 11th, we went to Collecticon. And we saw that he does the V Friends, the cards. We saw that was going to be there. I didn't know he was going to, I actually didn't think he was going to be there. But we still, like you saw I made the little video. So like I prepped and brought my little V Friends card they had sent out to us and was ready. But so we went in and I saw that he was there. So it was not that, for us, we waited about 45 minutes to meet him, which wasn't bad. But the line was obviously wrapped around the building. I think half the people there were for him, the other half were for Pokemon. But meeting him was sensational. That he's very enthusiastic. It feels like I read somewhere that once you see someone for 200, 300 hours, like online digitally, you feel like you know them. But like it felt very authentic, I should say, like the way he spoke and just everything. But it felt, I guess, reassuring too. It felt nice to see him and like because I told him I'm like, hey, I quit my job yesterday. This is, this is crazy. Like I've been watching you for 10 years and like just that he's been very influential, this and that. And he just, he said exactly what you would think out of every line, like, but it hits home when you're there standing and hearing it like face to face. It's like, I'm getting, I feel like right now, I feel like tension in my, blood pressure going up. But it was an incredible moment, man. Definitely meeting him was something awesome.
That's awesome, man. I loved it when I saw it, and I was just like, man, that must have been very intense. And now it drives home even more, like the aspect of, because obviously I didn't know the origin story of how things kind of line up. So I'm intrigued in, because obviously that, like, the different occurrences like that, does that happen often for you, where things come, like you start thinking of things and things start coming and you start kind of either in a way manifestation and then things start lining up? Has that always been a
No,
thing, or is just
never.
something that now your brain, that's, or are you more, would you say your thought process has changed
I
in
was
a
gonna,
degree?
I was gonna say no, never. But then, as you said, of the thought process, it's always if you're looking for negativity, find negativity. If you're looking
Yeah,
for
yeah,
positivity, find
yeah.
positivity. Not that I've been. I guess I'm technically pretty positive always. I feel like in general, but it does feel like now as I'm looking for, like I see more. I guess I see more opportunity as I'm looking for it, and there's moments where I might do something where I might not have before that. I've always looked at, I guess, if you go somewhere and it's not a good outlook, I always try to find the positive in it. But it does feel like more recently, it is, I guess, I'm looking for it. Like, as I've had a little bit of luck with this compared to other projects I've tried, I feel like it's working better, smoother. And in return, I have more energy for it. I'm putting in, instead of 110, I'm putting in 150. I'm doing things I haven't done before, working on it. So it is, I guess, it's definitely showing itself more, but it's also because I feel like I am looking for it and I'm pushing for it, putting myself out there. So it's allowing those situations to occur.
No, I think that's great. I love hearing things like that, and seeing, and I think what I love even more is the fact of, like, because there's a lot of people, and you come across a lot of people, just like I do, of vendors and different people have the dream or doing the work, and it's just missing that little extra sometimes just to get you over. And sometimes it is a tipping point, and so of sometimes of, do I stop? Do I go? You have those moments of doubt. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Should I be doing this? You go through all these like different emotions and feelings. So it's great to hear, especially like when you have those. It's even better when you're riding the wave of, like, that positive wave. But it is a hard thing sometimes to kind of to continue doing, sometimes when you're going through it. What you what usually, when you have those times, like when you've had different ventures and stuff like that, yet you and your wife kind of like, work together to kind of do these, what are some of the things that you've learned from it? And then also, what are the things that you think, like, what are some things that the two of you kind of like talk about and kind of learn from, or get, or try to gain experience from those moments that maybe aren't working, or aren't when they're like at its best?
I mean, so even now, this week we got one event, we got rained out and our tent flipped over and got wrecked. That was, I think, a Tuesday.
I was gonna say, is that your like 11th tent or something
That
like that
was it.
you've gone through?
We're on number 12 now. I was laughing that that's like becoming a thing. I'm like, that sucks. And that's like what we're going to be known for. But a lot of people have suggested getting like a thick tent, but when it's, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, like a larger scale tent, like it's just not going to hold. But the other day we did an event, that got rained out and just constantly, I mean, like you said, Goblin Market, Milk Mart, we do the Claremont Market, like those are our peaks. Those are always, incredible. But just the same, we show up places where we've never been before, and or the weather changes or it's super hot, or and then like you said before with the other ventures with the food, you just everything you do is, I guess, if you want to look at a giveaway, you're gaining experience. So prior to all this, I was actually I was in a band for a few years, which is how met my wife. Her sister came out to one of our shows and brought her. We were doing a battle of the bands, and so I met her through that. But I always laughed that booking like that didn't really pan out. But the booking experience I use now, booking all the events as far as for Level Up Lemonade, when we did the food, the ghost kitchen, all the licensing, all the people I met doing all that, I was able to just, I'm still using the same commissary kitchen. I'm still using everything, so licensing, everything was just transferred over. So always look for, I guess, the positive in any opportunity. It's not always going to be there. Sometimes you just won't find a positive, but it's, you're gaining experience, you're gaining skills, you're gaining, your skill tree is growing if you want to do it like an RPG. And eventually hopefully you don't ever need to know how to, like, who knows, like something terrible happens to you one point. Hopefully that situation doesn't reoccur, you don't ever, but you might have even knowledge or skills to maybe help, like you said, other vendors. Like our first event we did at the milk market, the tent caved in because of the water. And then the coordinator of the milk market actually told us, send out like an email about pool noodles. So now we always run the, for the little cheaper tents, we run the pool noodles, but same thing, other vendors have seen us do that. So we've passed that, that's a tiny little thing, but
Hey, it's
that was,
inexpensive and it's a game saver, game
but
changer
yeah,
too.
yeah, it's funny because it's just, it's all it takes is just a little sag, and it's, once the weight puts in, it's, it's done. So, but that's as far as like vending outside, like, small things, but just, you gotta, I mean, it happened. Like there's no taking it back. So you have an option of doing a positive outlook for it or negative, but just know that if you take the negative mindset tomorrow, you're gonna wake up upset. And again, you're not gonna find, like you were talking about manifesting, you're not gonna find a good opportunity if you're walking around with your head down, upset, murmuring. So
Yeah, man. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. If and this just kind of came to me. I'm just kind of curious, since you're a gamer. Is there a character? Is there a game character that you most like? Kind of, I don't know. Like you feel like you have a strong bond with, that you feel like you're very, that I don't know, mimics you or reminds you of you, or you're drawn to out of all like the characters that of different games.
no one that necessarily draw like that I could say represents, that I feel like
Yeah,
represents me. But growing up, my favorite character and generally the favorite franchise has been Zelda, or so, like Link. Which the whole story, which is you saying about drawing to you, the whole story behind the name was Shigeru Miyamoto, when making him, he never gave him a name. He named him Link because he wanted him to be the link between the world you're playing in and the player controlling the character. So he's the link between. So like in that aspect, but I'm not, dodging and rolling through
yeah,
wicked feel, like I've, so like never, like there's no like courageous, craziness like that. But I've definitely felt like that franchise in general has been very interesting. It does, like, from bright points to dark, darker games. It's been very interesting. So I guess that would be my, like, Link would be my character.
I like it, dude. I like it. Is there a limit? And correct. I don't game as much as I should, but is there a Lemonade Link, like a one that's like kind of goes into the world of Zelda or Link?
Yeah, a couple of them actually. So on our main, in our main menu, the green potion is a standardized, they have the red, green, and blue potions in a lot of games, Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs. But for me, it's going to be for your magic meter tied to Legend of Zelda. Our number 7, the first drink we ever made for the rotating menu, was actually for the LTM, was the Hearty Elixir, which is from the newer Breath of the Wild. The 8-bit brew is kind of just nostalgic, like 8-bit, so like your old Mario, your old Zelda. So yeah, not necessarily in that world, but just the older style. And then the fireproof elixir, that's actually more than I thought. The fireproof elixir is actually also tied to Zelda. You drink it, and then uh, you have a burn defense, or you are able to endure or go into a high heat volcano, etc., without taking damage. So
No, man,
yeah,
I love
actually,
I love that. So I mean, again, I don't know, but just so you know, as you explain them, I should just be writing them down and then just send it to you so you can put it on your card
yes,
when you create the cards. That should be something. I think it should be, if anything, a card. And my brain, this is how my brain works. It should either be a card, or if you didn't even want to make it a card, you can make it still a card version of it, or first make it as a sticker version of it, so it looks like a sticker, like almost like old school Garbage Pail Kid, where it has like the peel around, the stick around,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that you can kind of do it like that, but it looks like a card, and then you
The
could
old
even make
chrome
it.
tops, like the Pokemon top
Yes, yes.
holographics.
Yeah, something like that. Like I totally can see you doing that, creating something like this, and I think it would totally do well. I know like a Gideon's has created something like that because they've
We
created it for their
have we
characters.
have one of the characters. She has a lemon head, and we actually
Yes,
have it in our
yes.
calendar that So when we open
Yes.
it up, we see the Gideon's like
So
sour.
you should use that as an inspiration because I do think that you have something there. It's going to be funny. I'm not going to lie. This will be a moment of pride if I years down the road I come back to listen to this episode and I find out that like that's like you guys all of a sudden went like your drinks went you went from like oh well we're doing level up but it's really the moneymaker now is our card it's our trading card game that we have which would be phenomenal if I hear that from you.
That is far out my expertise. That would be cool. But we are looking into doing like bottles or cans. It's just been the regulatory framework for it has been insane. But that is I mean, that could be a good push off for the first, X amount of cans or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I do like that. That
If
is
you are
incredible.
looking, and I don't know if you're looking, but I have had a person. I do have someone that actually does like he does kombucha and he does his own canning and stuff like that. So if you needed someone, we can definitely
Oh yeah,
you
definitely.
know
Please.
you can I can definitely put you in contact so that you can have a conversation or see and maybe I mean I'm pretty sure if anyone's listening and they're interested in helping, that'd be another obviously another thing because then people can actually buy the lemonade and take it and take home with them as well. So that way we have like another option. Not to mention then you can be put in stores or heck even every brewery or whatever could have you
We've
as an
had
option.
we've had three different like vendors, retail shops. So one of the two stores in Claremont, a couple other people come out, but we just can't. It's because it's a fresh lemon. It's not. It has to be pasteurized. It's like a whole. But
Yeah,
we've
there's
had
a
a
whole
few people
method.
come out,
Yeah,
so
it's a different world, right? It's a different
it is, which
different
is
take.
silly. I could sell it out in the tent outside the store, but I can't sell it from the store. But it makes it's for safety. It makes sense, but it's you got to figure it out. So
No, but what I love about it is there's an evolution there. It's like a build, like you literally are leveling up. You're going to the next level in the journey of level up lemonade and what the next journey is for you guys. And I know you guys do merch as well, so like you got some merch game going, so which is perfect because then the trading cards will go into the merch area or stickers and whatnot. So I definitely I love it, man. I really do. I really think it's a fun brand. It's the best part about it is like I know some people are like, oh, well, it's just lemonade. Like, no, it's not just lemonade because there's great flavors. It's just great tasting. It's refreshing, especially like at a market or anything like that. Like, it's just it hits. Like I've been fortunate the few times that I've gotten it. I've actually had to get some of my customers actually get it for me because I don't since I'm selling and I can't because
you can't
if you
get
guys
out of
aren't
the
set up.
yeah.
I've had and it's just me, so I've had customers and I'd be like, I was like, oh, what flavor you got? And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you want one? I got me one. I'm like, here's money right there. Can you just go and buy me one? I was like, here, go buy me one.
That's the
And
hard
that's
part
kind of
about doing them is you can't leave your tent to see all the cool vendors oftentimes.
that and this is one of the reasons why I do what I do with this because it gives me a chance to be able to talk to people that I want to be able to have a conversation with that usually it's like a hey what's up how you doing and then we're off on our own little world and then we maybe say hi at the end but it's everyone's like wrapping up and trying to go so you can't have conversations and this is the reason why I kind of started this podcast was because I
Awesome.
figure it's another way for me to be able to help another person hear someone else's story. Lucas, what advice do you have for someone wanting to start something?
Do it. Just do it. Most things in your life, if you try whatever and you fail, you can go back to what you were doing. Like as far as like I told you, I quit Disney. If in 5 years this isn't working, I mean, I quit properly, so I should be able to get a job. I mean, I was a bartender, I was a server. Like, there's a lot. Like I wasn't doing anything extraordinary. Like we had, so just it's worth trying. I've never like doing this the last 2 years, especially the last like 2 3 months. Me and my wife talked about it. Like I've never been happier. This has been like it's just been like my job is hanging out in this of course paying taxes and figuring out how to do all the back end stuff and showing up, sitting outside, just it gets hot, whatever. But in general, like the fact, even though I tried like had I stopped after the ghost kitchen or the doing the online recipes or whatever, like and never in my life would I have thought I'd be selling lemonade. Like I wanted to be a game tester. I wanted to be in a band. Like I had a list of things I went through. I tried everything. They all failed. And throughout all of it, I kept my bartending job. I did worked as a ride operator at Disney. I did other things. I drove a cab. Those jobs are there. Tomorrow you can drive Uber. Tomorrow you can do whatever. But something that if it hits and it lands, like which this has been the greatest experience I've ever had. I just like I said, like I smile thinking about it because it's just like it's just incredible, man. So it's worth trying. If it doesn't work out, like just keep going. Not saying quit. If you're doing something, you've been working somewhere for 25 years and you have a $3,000 mortgage. Don't quit your job tomorrow and start making lemonade. But like it's worth trying. Like it's worth trying because like as Gary Vee always says, when you're 90, what's the worst regret? You don't get a chance at 90. You don't get to try it. Like in 50 years, I'm not going to get this opportunity. I try it now. If it doesn't work, I can bartend forever. And it's been great, man. Definitely.
I mean, heck, again, I love the fact that it all kind of builds up. Like the bartending experience actually is part of the help that's helped you with doing all this stuff to be able to come up with all these different recipes and
Definitely.
flavors and everything. So I think that's phenomenal. Where can people follow you guys? Where can they see where you're going to be at so that they can try some Level Up Lemonade? Leave all that information. It's going to be in the show notes as well. But I always like to tell people so that way if they're scrolling and they're listening, they can like in their scrolling on their phones, they can like give you guys a follow and start checking stuff out and maybe figure out where you're going to be at so that they can go enjoy some Level Up Lemonade.
So it's Level Up. So at Level Up Lemonade. So the email is leveluplemonade@gmail. Website is leveluplemonade.com. Instagram, TikTok. We have Threads, Facebook, all of them at Level Up Lemonade. And then we're most actively on Instagram, but I do my best to go through thread. I try to post on all the socials, but Instagram's like I feel like it's the thickest. Our schedules are also posted up on all the socials. It's pinned up to the top generally. And like I said, we do about 25 to 30 events. So we do apartment complexes, festivals, events every Sunday morning at the farmers market in Claremont. So check the social. I usually do about a month in advance. So in about a week or two, I'll be posting the next month ahead. So
And you also obviously could be available for private events, or if
yes.
any companies or anything like that want to give a nice little treat to level up and power up their exhausted staff, they can always obviously reach out to you guys to come over and give them a refresh and re-energize them.
Yep. And so any platform works for that. And then just in general, like I said, we usually have about a month and a half booked in advance. The further ahead would be the better. But other than that, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Lucas, I really appreciate you taking the time getting
Well,
for us
thank
to get
you.
a chance to chat, man. I love this. I love the story. I love what you guys are doing. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for you guys and everything that's coming. I see big things coming your way, and I'm just a fan. So I just thank you so much. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for Lucas of Level Up Lemonade for being on. Definitely make sure to check him out. If you go, I want to see some pictures, some selfies. Let him know that you heard his story. Share his story. If this inspired you, share it with your friends. If you got someone that like everyone needs someone to be able to have your back and be able to tell their story or be able to kind of help push someone. Lucas has had it and I've had it. And it's like sometimes you just need that little extra. If you're thinking of someone and you think of an idea for someone, share it. And if this inspired you, I want you to share the episode and share Lucas's story because I think other people need to hear it and be inspired by it. If you want to support my brand, check out Deli Fresh Threads. But thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, Fisherman.